Before people will give you favor, before people will give you an opportunity, they look at value in your character. Can you be trusted? It's better to resolve the conflict than to dissolve the relationship. Unforgiveness is a spirit of the Satan. It's not spirit of God. Most times, it's our expectations that are hurting us.
If you love people, the way you hurt them will reduce.
What were the good things this person ever did to me? And just reminisce, just focus on that. You will learn to forgive that person. Focus on the crown, not the crowd.
You know, life is such that we can't go without hurting each other. They say the tongue and the teeth even live closer, but they always, have issues. Sometimes the teeth bites the tongue. So it's not possible to live in a society where there wouldn't be issues. Yeah. So today, I want us to talk about one very important aspect of every society, which is the power of forgiveness. Okay. If somebody hurts you, right? Okay. The only thing that you can do is either to forgive or to retaliate. Yeah. Now, forgiveness has a certain power. Yeah. So today I want us to talk about that power of forgiveness.
That's beautiful.
What does forgiveness do to somebody who forgives, regardless of the hurt that you've been through?
Okay. So when it comes to forgiveness or being hurt, as you clearly stated, it's not possible to live with people without being hurt by them, consciously or unconsciously. Now, there are two types of being hurt. People closer to you, when they hurt you, is different. The level is different from people when you don't know people and they hurt you. So, for instance, if my dad hurt me, it's different from when a different person hurts me. If my mom hurt me, it's different from when somebody hurt you. So the level of pain you receive from people closer to you hurting you is another level. So when you don't forgive people who hurt you and they're very closer to you, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. But before I come to the forgiveness, I have two things to share. The first one is giving thanks. I would like to thank you for the good work you guys are doing. Trust me, a lot of people's lives are changing through this. There's no time to show you WhatsApp messages and how people are very... this podcast is changing life. And I said I will use this opportunity to thank you for that. And all the leadership, they are really doing well. The team, look, our colleague speakers, I listen to them, I get inspired. There was a day I was down emotionally. You know, what you listen affect you. So I just went on and Prince Hamdan studio, I listened to some of the videos. Oh, I was touched, I was inspired. These are young ones growing. We need an environment to explore, which you managed to create that. So now I need the government, I need NGOs, I need TV stations to invest into this. You know, we should support each other. The reason why the bad people are going ahead is because they support each other. But when we find something good and we don't support each other, the person who get to a point that the person start to get relaxed. So I said I'll use this opportunity to thank you with the good work and all the team.
I definitely appreciate that. Exactly. And we can't thank you enough for always coming on the
it's an honor. It's
on the podcast to share with us your experience and your knowledge.
It's an honor.
Basically, it's teamwork, and I appreciate the fact that every time you make time to come.
It's an honor. I'm always grateful for that. Now, my second thing is how I start my days. I always start my days with Quran recitation. So I encourage every young guy, if you are a Christian, start with Bible recitation, Bible reading. And if you are a Muslim, start with Quran recitation. Very important. Now, the second thing is that I start my days with forgiveness. I try to forgive everybody who wronged me, whether knowingly or unknowingly. I will just mention the person's name. I've forgiven you. Another thing is to forgive yourself. The 2017 Yunus is not the 2023 Yunus. So if I'm still hurting my today based on the mistake I did 2017, that's unfair. So everybody, you must forgive yourself. There were certain wrong decisions you made. That's okay. That was the best you knew. You can't do more than you know. You can only operate based on what you know. So at that point, that was what you knew. So if it is even relationship, at that point you thought that was the best for you, but now you know better. So why should you still be hating yourself from the past? And we have 3 days: the past, the present, and the future. So some people are living the present, but they are still thinking the past. So their past is controlling their present. Guess what? Your future will become the past. So don't live in the past. And there's no amount of money that can change the past. So living in the past, you are just worrying yourself. You are just hurting yourself. Learn from your past. There are lessons. Learn from it. And make the right decisions today. And trust me, you have a better future. Exactly. So I try to forgive so many people, and I forgive myself. My next is love. Look, everybody must love. God is love. Love people, expecting nothing in return. Then when they are blessing you, expect your reward from Almighty God. It will help you sustain the relationship. Most times, it's our expectations that are hurting us. It's not like the person didn't do ABCD for you. You expect those things from the person, and you didn't even communicate that to the person. Now, one, you expect something from somebody. You didn't communicate it to the person. Now, if the person doesn't do, you get hurt, you get offended, then that's a problem. So love yourself. Love people closer to you. Love outside. Just show love. And God will surely make angels to show love to you. And the last is being grateful. Be grateful with where you are. The other time we discussed gratitude. Be grateful where you are. Be grateful with who you are, what you have. Just be grateful. God said, if you are grateful, I'll give you more. Now, there are a lot of people who want more, but they are ungrateful. If you cannot be trusted with what I've given you, what's the essence of giving you more? But if you have that attitude, that gratitude, you'll be blessed with more. So I always start my days with Quran recitation. I do my forgiveness, and then I show love, and then I try to be grateful. The other thing is, you can be gifted, but if you don't have favor, you suffer in life. You need favor from men. Yes, favor from God, that's one thing, but you need favor from men. Now, how do you get favor? Number one, honor. Honor people. If somebody ever give you an opportunity, honor it. If there's anybody you stop helping, it's dishonor. A lot of youth have pride, so they dishonor attitude. Now, how can you get favor?
And that particular point, is something that I've been thinking of a lot, because in our age or in our era, you see a lot of people, when they want to absolve themselves of some of their irresponsible behavior, they tend to come out with certain remarks like, after all, you are not God, after all this, after all that, trying to make them always look as the best, but forgetting that in a society you can't live alone.
Absolutely.
Because there've been so much selfishness within our community now.
Absolutely.
People feel that if somebody offends them, or if somebody behaves in a certain way, all they do is cut the person off, cut this person off, cut that person off. But sometimes you forget that you equally have certain behaviors people don't like. So for me, I think it's very important, and that leads to the point you made earlier of, showing love. It is very important for you to have love within.
Very important.
To even be able to forgive, you need to have love within.
Very important.
If you don't have love, it is difficult for you to forgive.
Very
because
truthful.
Everything, you are bitter about everything. You are angry about everything.
I love that.
But the moment you see, all you see is love. They'll hurt you big time, and you only see love. So for me, I was very happy when you made mention of
I watched your episode with Ibrahim Mahama. That was honor. You honor him. Look, honor will let people do things for you you never thought they would do.
Absolutely.
A lot of youth are suffering because of dishonor. Honor men. God can intend something for you, but it will take a man to let you fulfill it.
And we honor God through his creation.
Absolutely. So when I see a youth wanting favor, you can be gifted. You need men favor to succeed. So honor men. Oh, I'm very honored to be in your presence.
And by men, mean human beings.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily the gender man, but human beings.
Absolutely. Dishonor has caused a lot of problems. Sometimes you plan to do something, like you plan to give 20%, but because of that person's honor, you end up giving 80%.
Exactly. And
Honor
even
bring the best of people.
for me, I always believe that God works just like how we human beings, like
Absolutely.
we are God's creation. So
Very
God
important.
programs us to work how He works.
Absolutely.
So even in that regard, when you fail to honor His creation,
Wow.
it means you are dishonoring God.
Absolutely.
So you tend not to find God's
Absolutely.
favor,
Absolutely.
right? Because
Absolutely.
if God gives somebody and you hate the person for that,
Good.
you are indirectly telling God He doesn't know what He's
Absolutely.
about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now the next is value. After you honor men, the next is value. Provide value to men. Your contribution to people's life. Stop expecting for doing nothing. You see, anybody you are with, the person that will get the best of you is the one that have contributed into your life.
Of course.
Even if you are a parent and you have several kids, the one that will get the best of you is the one that honor you and provide value for you.
The one who honors God and provide values for God is the
That
one who
is
gets
it.
from God.
God loves everyone,
Exactly.
but if you honor him-
Exactly.
So one man was saying he has 4 wives, but there's one particular one who is getting the best of him. She honor him and she provide value. Her contribution in his life.
I always tell my wife when we are having conversations of polygamy and all of
Wow.
those things that
Wow.
you see when they say a man loves another one of the wives more than the other, there is a reason.
Absolutely.
Because as human beings, we are not
Absolutely.
attached because of the fact that you are just my wife.
Yeah.
But by the fact that you behave in a certain way
Exactly.
that attracts me to you.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it is not because the husband just
Yeah,
loves one of the wives
absolutely,
more, but it's
absolutely.
because that particular wife
Exactly.
has something or is
Exactly.
doing something
In fact-
that is earning the favor
In fact,
of the
I've learned
husband.
something from you. You've widened my scope of argument. So that means that the woman that will get the best of her husband is the woman that honor the man
Exactly.
and provide value.
Exactly.
So that also means that the man that will get the best of his wife
Exactly.
is the
Exactly.
man that honor the lady and provide good value for her. Now, another thing is mentorship. I have several people I mentored. Those who get the best of me are those that honor me and provide value. So if you want favor as a youth, you can be gifted. If you dishonor people, you don't provide value, Andrew Wahalapam.
And with regards to, forgiveness, one of the points I've noted is the fact that, see, focus
Very
is
important.
everything.
Very important.
As a human being, or as somebody who wants to achieve something,
Yeah.
if you don't have focus, you've lost it.
Very
and one of the things that can give you that focus is when you are able to leave everything that is distracting you.
Yes.
So sometimes you forgive somebody not because the person is right, not because what the person has done is the right thing,
Yes.
but because you want to have your focus
Very
to be
important.
able to achieve
Very
what
important.
you want to achieve.
Very
I recently
important.
watched a video where a car was trying to there was this muddy slippery area
Okay.
that a car was trying to cross.
Okay.
So the car went into the mud, was struggling to move, struggling to move.
Wow.
The driver kept gassing. The car is moving slowly, slipping here and there, mud all over the car.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And there was this interpreter who interpreted the video
Wow.
in a way that caught my attention. So if you saw the car was all dirty with mud because the place was just very muddy and all of that. So the car was moving. It didn't care about the mud that was on the body of the car. The only place the driver cared about was the windscreen where the mud was covering. So that was the only place he was cleaning up and down because he needed to have his focus
Very important.
to be able to move out of that
Very
place.
important.
So if he had stopped
Yeah.
to clean the body of the
Oh,
car,
no,
that was he wouldn't even be able to go to
I love
you
that,
get
that
it.
analogy.
So
you
to be
gave.
able to focus,
Yeah.
you need to forget all the mud that is
Yeah.
attaching onto your body,
Yes.
whether they deserve it or not.
Yes. Yes. It's very
But for you to be
important.
sane,
Yes. It's very
to
important.
be able to achieve
It's
what
very-
you intend to
it's
achieve.
very important.
Yes.
I will touch on forgiveness, but another thing has to do with the value in your character, in your moral. I know a lot of gifted people, but they don't have values. They don't have character. So before people will give you favor, before people will give you an opportunity, they look at value in your character. Can you be trusted? When I give you this, can you be trusted? So work on your character. There are a lot of people who need help and favor, but they are liars. They will tell you, when you say you go someplace, do you go? Do you respect your own words? Do you respect time? Do you take your life serious? You get it? So once you have character problem, trust me, you won't get favor. So these are the things. Honor men, provide value, and work on your character. If you have this, you get a lot of opportunity. Now let's come to forgiveness. One of my mentor, Dr. Wendaya, that forgiveness is the fragrance, the violence shed over the hills that have crushed it. So if you don't forgive somebody, it's like you taking DDT and expecting them to die. They'll keep on enjoying themselves and you'll be suffering. And one thing is that when you are very unforgiving, it affects your spirit. And God said, if you want me to forgive you, then you need to learn to forgive others. Why is there forgiveness in life? Because God knew people wronged you. Now, it's not your role to judge people. It's Almighty God's role to judge people. Yours is to love, accept people for who they are. The person, you see, there's a condition the person find themselves that made them to act that way. Condition reveals people's character. So, can they have a happy person to be sad? Depending the circumstances. Can we have a sad person to be happy? Depending the circumstances. So sometimes circumstances reveal certain character. So for me, anytime I have any grudge with somebody, I start with forgiveness. And if somebody very close to me, very dear to me, like my dad or my mom hurts me, if those people, if you don't forgive them, you can't move on. All my mentors who have had a big breakthrough, my brother, they will tell you it's after they forgive the person who really caused them pain. Some people is their stepmom. For some is their stepfather. For some is... If you want to experience progress in your life, to really focus, you can't hold pain. Because that whole pain and anger...
Is a lot to do with.
It is a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it will put you in depression.
Yeah.
There's no purity in the work you are doing.
You can't
function.
You can't do anything.
But why is it that people don't want to forgive? It's pride. Who is this person to hurt you? Does he know who I am?
Yeah.
Who are you? We came here, we are semen. We are just semen released into our mother's womb. Then God formed us. You came with nothing, and when you are going by, you go by. Who are you? So we must put things in perspective. So me personally, if I have any grudge with somebody, I have two ways. I can either let you know I'm sorry, or I can say I've forgiven you within me. But once in a while you'll be there, I'll still be chatting you. But we are no more like the way we used to be. But so that I can move on, I have to forgive you. It's one thing forgiving somebody, another thing giving them an opportunity to really hurt you deeper again. So now when you can set standard now, you can set boundaries to protect yourself. But to keep that unforgiving spirit, God said if you want him to bless you, to forgive you, you have to learn to forgive. It's very, very important. And you raise a very important thing about the car story, the Madi area. I don't care what vision you have. If you really want to achieve it, you need people to support you. Now, when the people comes, you have to forgo their weaknesses, some of the words they see, some of these things. And there's another point when you are speaking a root. It's better to resolve the conflict than to dissolve the relationship. A lot of people run after fighting. They run after confrontation. They're afraid of confrontation. So anytime they have a problem with somebody, they'll just delete the person. No. You are afraid of conflict. Resolve the conflict. What is the issue? Okay, this is the issue. Have one-on-one conversation with the person. I like you so much and I respect you so much. But you see, anytime you do this is how it makes me feel. Right now, this is my plan. This is what I feel right now. You are not blaming them. Just communicate how you feel. They will say, oh, I didn't know. I thought it's ABCD. You people resolve the conflict. But to keep things and be imagined, oh, shadami. Oh, go shadami. Oh, numma shambalama. Umpo na yambo. Like you start imagining things and Satan loves that. Satan likes you to have ego and pride and sit at your own place and start imagining things. No, no, no. Unforgiveness is a spirit of the Satan. It's not spirit of God. God produced forgiveness. Any unforgiving is a spirit of Satan. So if you want to dwell with Satan, move with unforgiveness.
And sometimes you have no idea how much or how far bitterness can take you.
Exactly.
It starts like, you are just resenting the person and it grows, right? If you don't cut it off, it grows to a point where quite recently we've seen a lot of people, killing their girlfriends or, shooting their girlfriends and all of that. It started from not forgiving them for maybe something they've done, right?
Yeah.
If you don't forgive, you see, sometimes, like, how human beings
expand.
Exactly how human beings behave. We sometimes feel that we are all the same.
Yeah.
But it is insane how God has created every single one of us in a way that there can be 10 people in this room, and each of them will react differently to the same circumstance.
Very true.
Based on our experiences and how things have moved around us. And one of the points is that as a human being, we think we are sane, but it's like a halfway, like how do you call it? Two sides of a coin.
Yes.
In as much as you are sane, that is the same way you are insane.
Absolutely.
It just needs to be triggered.
Yes.
And one of the triggers is pain, bitterness, and unwillingness to forgive.
Very true.
These are the things that can trigger you to become insane and do things that you would regret.
Absolutely.
Doing if you were sane.
Absolutely.
So I think it's important. Immediately you find yourself in that particular
forgiveness is key.
Is key.
Is key.
Even if it's not for the person, but for your
your
own well-being.
It's very important.
Just forgive. And you see, it will amaze you the how powerful that is.
Yes.
How fulfilled you become. How renewed in spirit you become. How focused you become after letting something out of your system.
It quickly changes the atmosphere.
And like anytime I have an issue with somebody, like I can't focus. Like I can't do anything.
I'm getting you.
But immediately I address it. It's like all my plugs have been fixed, and I'm like a jet. You're ready to fly.
Yes.
And these things are practical.
Yes.
When you are able to do it. But as you said earlier, sometimes I feel it's a confliction of our inner beings.
Okay.
Of pride and humility.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Pride is conflicting with humility.
Yes.
Which if you go with pride, at the end of the day you find yourself in this particular. But if you are humble or if you have humility, you'll be able to talk to yourself to calm down, to forgive, to take out bitterness from your heart and love people for
absolutely. Normally when you forgive somebody, it changes the atmosphere.
Everything.
You need a conducive atmosphere to move on. Now if that atmosphere is destroyed by unforgiving, immediately you forgive that person, it will just change your spirit, your soul, your blood system. It flows well.
Everything.
It's very, very important. Now, another thing I wanted to make is that we have different kinds of people and the role they play in our lives. Now, when somebody is so important to you, maybe your job is connected to the person, maybe your financial something is connected to the person, or maybe you have a vision, you want to achieve something, and the person role is very important. So those people, when they hurt you, I will advise you to focus on the crown, not those petty arguments. Win the ultimate goal. Maybe there's something you really wanted, and this person, you can get it through that person. Satan will try to disturb you by using that person. So, and the Bible says we are not fighting against flesh and blood. We are fighting against spirit and principality. So there's this big project you wanted, and there's this person who will help you. Now, Satan will get that person, then the person will start acting weird. Now, if you let pride comes in, who is he? He should go away. Pride will help the enemy. Oversee the human flesh. Know that you are fighting against spirit and principality. And if the person is very important for you, can help you achieve that goal, I advise you, humble yourself, exercise patience, and get that thing you want. Because once you get it, it will be more beneficial than if you don't get it. So if you are even currently in a relationship, look, there are some people, they will belittle you, maltreat you, act you some way, but there will be one day you need their help. They will come and just sign a signature, and it will be worth all the belittling they belittling you. So it's also determined how wet the person is in your life. If the person is very wetful, I will advise you, don't let pride come in. Humble yourself and go through that.
Okay.
Mostly it's when the person is always consistently hurting you, and the person is not really that important in your life. They don't really have you at heart. So those people, just forgive them and just forget about them. But aside from that, I'll advise, win the war, not the small argument. So if your war is to have a happy marriage, let her win the petty argument. Let her win it. You're good. Other than that, if you focus on the petty argument, you win it, but you lose the war. And the goal is to win the war. Focus on the crown, not the crowd.
Okay, so I want us to talk about, how to, forgive. Because in as much as we see it to be an easy thing, it's very difficult, even for people who are aware that forgiveness can help them. It's just like a drug. When you get addicted to pride and you get addicted to a particular kind of behavior, it's very difficult to get out of it. And particularly so because now it is like it's the norm for people not to forgive. Because when somebody does something to you, to pamper your pride and ego, you have to retaliate. That's how people see you as, a big man, or how people see you as, somebody who is respected, or who, I don't know if you get the point I'm trying to make.
Yes.
So now, how do we, if somebody finds themselves in this kind of situation, how do they get to the situation or to the state where forgiveness will be easy for them?
So thank you very much for such a powerful question. I have 3 answers to that. The first one is that know that people are not perfect. Nobody is perfect. Secondly, know that we are all work in progress. My wife is not perfect. I'm not perfect. You are not perfect. I'm not perfect. There are certain things I might have done that hurt you. There are certain things you might have done that hurt. But give people room to grow. We are work in progress. That's why we are human being. You are becoming. As I'm growing, the more I become wiser.
And I say forgive and grow.
Exactly. The reason why you don't forgive people is that you thought they are perfect. They shouldn't have done that. They know better. They shouldn't have done. Even you, there are so many things you do. So the first thing, know that people are not perfect. And give people room to grow. We are work in progress. Once you understand that, it helps you, the person have the capacity to hurt. Another thing is that you don't know the options they choose from. I used to blame my mom and dad. Now that I find myself in the same situation, I'm now beginning to realize. So forgiving now is easy for me because I now appreciate what they went through. So sometimes, ask yourself, if I were the one in their shoe, how would I have acted? Come on. It's hard on people. At that point, if it were you, what would you have done? So 1, people are not perfect. They are work in progress. Secondly, find yourself in their shoe. What would you have done differently? There's a lady I'm counseling. She blamed this man. And finally, I asked her, if you were the man, if you were in his shoe, what would you have done? She sat quiet, said, I now understand. I don't blame people because you don't know the options they had to choose from. You don't know the circumstance they find themselves. So you just sit down and imagine things ideal. You don't know what the person is going through. You don't even know the story that is following them. You don't know what they experienced. You don't know the pain they went through. Maybe this guy is really suffering. And normally people who act that way, they need your help. They are really going through trauma. They need help. Sympathize with them. Don't try to be hard on them again. So the first one, know that people are not perfect. They are work in progress. Secondly, ask yourself, if you were in their shoe, And the last one, forgive you yourself. People who don't forgive themselves find it hard to forgive others. When you are so hard on yourself, you try to be hard on others. Learn to forgive yourself. If you learn to forgive yourself and appreciate how beautiful you feel with forgiveness, then you now know the benefit of forgiving others. But if you yourself, you beat yourself to hell just because you made a mistake, now you can imagine what you do to somebody. When I did something, I slap myself, and you, guy. So that's what, do unto others as you do to you. Treat others as you treat yourself. So if you are able to forgive look, there are a lot of people in pain, not because of what somebody has done. They still have not forgiven themselves. Something they did 16 years back. I was too foolish to do that. And who is hurting? And you still, assuming you still have 40 years, you live that 40 years with bitterness. So if you want to learn that my dad is not perfect, just as I'm not perfect. Secondly, if I were in his shoe, considering the circumstances, what would I have done? I would have even done worse than what they were through.
And for me, I think awareness is also like very important.
Yes.
Being aware of your state as a person.
Yes.
That this is who I am.
Yes.
I'm bitter.
Yes.
And I have to change that.
Yes.
For me, that is the beginning of healing from
very
bitterness.
Important.
Once you accept every step of the way, question yourself. What has happened? Like, what happened? What went wrong? Can I forgive this person? Why not? Why can't I forgive the person?
Yeah.
Trust me, there's nothing that you cannot forgive. It's all like boils down to your pride, your ego, and being able to manipulate your mind as a person. Trust me, I can sit here, stand up and slap you, and you smile and go. I can do the same thing, and you decide to beat me up.
Exactly.
And do whatever you can.
Exactly.
It all like depends on how you are able to manipulate your brain.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, if you beat me up, what are the consequences?
Of that.
Though you might have how do you call it? The truth.
Yeah.
But because you beat me more than I did, maybe you might injure me.
Yeah.
And that could even lead to worse things, worse sanctions on
that's
you.
a powerful statement. I have to comment on this. Currently, there's a case, a person is in the prison for 60 years. A lady did something to him, angered him. He did something to her. When they went everything, he has been arrested for 60 years.
Yeah.
One mistake he did.
And it doesn't really matter who did it first.
Oh, no.
Yes.
So we have to be very careful with the way we act. But there's something you said, if you are happy, you'll be in a better position to forgive. I totally agree with you. Hurt people. Yeah. Anybody who ever hurts you, they were hurt.
So, and that means that if you're working on to becoming a forgiveful person, it's not just about the forgiveness. After you forgive the person, what else? Learn to love.
Very important.
You get it. So you are not working on only forgiveness. You are working on yourself as a complete human being.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
If you love people, the way you hurt them will reduce. You'll be willing to forgive more. Than retaliating.
Yes.
It's people who are angry that retaliates. Sometimes what the person or the hurt that the person hurts you is not even that's you know, if you consider it, it's not even worthy of retaliation. But because you are already angry, because you are already bitter, you have to use that as a channel to massage your ego and pride. Right? So it's not even because of what the person did, but because of your ego and your pride as a person. So that is where you have to tackle it from. Try and talk to yourself every time, every step of the way.
Very important.
This thing I'm about to do, does it make sense?
Yes.
Can I stop it?
Yes.
So most of the times, the mistakes we make is because we don't stop to think before we act.
Absolutely.
We just get into it And then later
and
on we
later
regret.
always struggling. Now, to add to what you are saying, there are two things I need to say. Another thing is sometimes remember the good the person ever did to you. That is, at that time, you are not dwelling in gratitude. That person that hurt you and you are very angry with pride, remember there was
There
a
were
time
times,
they were there for you.
good times, yeah.
So focus on what were the times they were there for you. You easily forgive them. Somebody can do 80% good to you, but just that 10% bad they did for you, and you let that 10% override the 80,
Yeah.
you are an ungrateful individual. I was listening to one woman, her daughter got married, and the man acted a certain way, and then the daughter just cut the man out. So the daughter now came, and then she was discussing with the mother, and the mother is saying, the daughter was asking, why is it that you were still with daddy after all what we saw, what daddy did to you? She said, your dad did a lot of good things to me. You guys, you didn't know what I was going through. There was a time, a point in my life, nobody could have buy me kobo. Your dad was there for me. When I was sick, your dad sent me to hospital. He took good care of me.
Gratitude, yeah.
There was a time things were very hard. Your dad was there for me. And just because now he cheated on me, yes, I'm hurt. But when I compare all what the good deeds the man did, I forgive and stayed with him, not because of the one bad thing he did, but because of all the good things he did. So sometimes when you are angry with somebody, just sit down and ask yourself, what were the good things this person ever did to me? And just reminisce, just focus on that. You will learn to forgive that person. But a lot of time, we forget about that thing and just focus on that particular thing the person has done. I remember there was a time I needed this. Prince Hamdan was there for me. I remember my first episode. Prince Hamdan was there for me. I remember there was a time I needed this. It was Prince Hamdan who was there for me. I don't care whatever wrong you did me. It cannot be compared to what you've done. And secondly, you're also work in progress. So anytime my spouse, my wife does something, I remember when I was at the college, Jamila was there for me. I remember when ABCD, Jamila was there for me. I don't care whatever petty wrong she did. It doesn't make sense to me. It cannot be compared to that good. So a lot of people with unforgiving spirit, they are ungrateful.
And I would like to, I would like us to end on this point.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not, you see, when you look at the situations,
Yeah.
sometimes it's not even coming from a space of fact.
Yeah.
Because sometimes some of these things are our own imaginations and
Yeah.
perceptions and expectations
Yes.
of what we expect.
Yes.
And as you rightly put it,
Yeah.
sometimes we don't know
Yes.
the position
Yes.
that other person is looking at
It's
things
very
from.
true. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's this popular, saying that when you look at a 6, from your side it might be 6. From another
the
point
other side,
it might be 9.
Exactly.
So for me, I think that is very key
Yes,
on
yes,
being able
yes.
to, before you even make your judgment,
Yeah.
being able to
Yeah.
look at it from different perspectives.
Yes. Yes.
Could she or he be right?
We judge very early.
Exactly.
A woman, or is it a man? A family owner, a cat. They came and saw a lot of blood all around. She thought the cat has devoured her daughter, her small child daughter, the way she beat the cat and threw the cat away. She went and saw a big cobra closer to the daughter.
Wow.
It was the cat who fought. A man told a wife, I'm coming. I'm Robert's got that guy. Only God knew how he saved. And the wife was angry. You say you come 7 p.m. This is 11:30. She was angry. Sometimes we get angry
Because
on unnecessary
she has a
things.
preconceived mind
It's
that
very sad.
he was doing something.
This
She
thing pissed
expected
me
it,
off.
you know.
You don't know what the person is going through. Last, one of my very good friend, female lady, she texts me, Yunus, you text me the day before yesterday, I didn't reply. And today I'm texting you and you didn't ask me. You didn't. Normally guys will get angry. I said, I don't know the options. I don't know where you were going to. She said, the truth is that I was trying to commission something and people were giving me headache. I was very hard. I said, I give you benefit of the doubt. Sometimes your trust in that person, if you really trust that person, There's no need to doubt. I know Prince Hamdan. No, he won't do that. Something might happen. But already you don't trust that person. So when they just do something small, that's a lack of a no, it's your doubt that is causing that issue.